All right. Well, hello, everyone. Thank you for joining our webinar about what's your 2026 story. I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Teresa
Hi.
so we can get started.
Thank you. Hi, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. And we want to welcome and thank you so much again for joining us on this amazing Saturday. We are so excited to have each and every one of you join us here again, this Saturday. And for the What is Your Story 2026, a session designed to help us pause, reflect, and intentionally shape the story we want to write for the year ahead. Before we dive in, we want to take a moment to feel proud because showing up today means that you are taking time, or excuse me, taking a step towards growth, purpose, and clarity. 2026 is coming fast, and today we get to create a vision that truly inspires us. Now, before we begin, I want to introduce to you two amazing speakers. They are two incredible women who will guide us through today's experience with valuable insight and inspiration, Kimberly and Rachel. So, Kimberly is a visionary leader dedicated to helping individuals identify their purpose and transition into their most fulfilling career paths. With years of experience spanning from innovative startups to Fortune 500 companies, she brings both strategic and expertise and heartfelt passion for personal development and growth. Rachel is a seasoned financial professional. After a successful career in real estate, she discovered her true mission to provide financial peace of mind for families and individuals through education and proper planning. Her work empowers others to achieve stability, confidence, and long-term financial freedom. So together, Kimberly and Rachel will take us on a powerful journey of reflection, growth, and vision for what's ahead. Now, some housekeeping and engagement. Before we get started, just a few quick notes to make today's session even better. Please keep your microphone on mute, but do turn on your camera so we can see all of your beautiful and handsome faces. We'd love to feel the energy and connection in the room. And if you'd like to share your city and state by renaming yourself, please go ahead and do so. So we'd love to see where everybody is joining us from. And also throughout the presentation, feel free to drop any questions or comments in the chat, and we'll dedicate time at the end to review as many as possible. So get ready, open your heart, open your mind, and let's create something truly meaningful together. Once again, welcome to What is Your Story 2026.
Awesome, awesome. Can you guys all hear me? Good. Wonderful. Again, my name is Rachel Chen, and I really want to appreciate Kimberly for putting this webinar together. One thing I really, really like about Kimberly is she always has people's interest in mind. Yes, she runs this as a business, but the whole reason she's doing it is to empower other people, to help and guide you so you can also achieve your full potential. And I'm just so blessed and so lucky that we get to do this together, Kimberly, and together we can impact the community and we can help more individuals and family. So, Kimberly, I think you are trying to adjust your slides first.
Yes.
Okay, and okay, perfect.
Can you guys see the slide now?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Perfect, perfect. So today we're going to go over, some of the topic about saving. How do you have a successful and meaningful job searching experience? And how do you minimize debt, reduce your debt, promotion, investment, and then leadership development? And then it is my privilege to be the first person to share some story with you. So today, me and Kimberly is going to be storyteller, right? So let's go to the first story. So today I want to share with you Maria's story about saving. So Maria is a beautiful 40 years old lady. She has a solid career as a corporate supervisor. right? Her job is stable. She has a comfortable lifestyle, right? As it relates to a lot of us, or people we know. However, she never really get to prioritize saving. And then COVID hit. Unfortunately, her company has to downsize and she lost her job. With no emergency fund or not enough emergency fund, she ended up has to rely on her credit card to stay afloat. And then at the end, after the pandemic, luckily Maria found a new job, back on track. However, her financial scar remained. That is when we met, and together we were able to help her to repackage, her life and re-strategize. So I got to show her how to start saving, not just saving, but saving with intention, where to put her money, how to maximize her growth, and how to protect her future from the unexpected. So she say, I really don't want anything to happen. I don't want to have to go through this again. So Maria's story is not rare, but her decision to take over is what is powerful. So I think if you guys have any question regarding this, you can type on the chat, or you can type it, and then we can also collect and answer all the question at the end. So Teresa, you can tell us if there's any question. If not, we can move on to the next story, I guess.
Yes, no questions. You can proceed.
Awesome.
All right, well, now we're going to talk about Becky's story. So Becky is 48 years old, and she's been in the manufacturing company for several years. And she has been promoted over those years to a quality control technician. When she came in, she was actually just working the line, helping with the manufacturing. And so she worked hard to get to this new role and really wanted to make sure that, she could retire doing this. Fortunately, she was recently laid off. The company was sold to a multinational corporation, and they eliminated this role. So unfortunately, Becky is now back in the job market, and the job market is significantly different today than it was 12 years ago, or when Becky first started going for this job. Becky heard about this job from a friend. She was able to go to the website directly and email her resume to the HR person and get an interview that way. Now, those types of connections are not there. And so she's looking at these different job sites and saying, I can't go directly to the person. Stuff's not posted in the newspaper like it was years ago. How do I really get back into this job market? What do I need to do? And yeah, I have a resume, but that's it. I don't have any LinkedIn profiles or anything else. And I feel like this is going to be a different journey. And she is absolutely correct. And so now that Becky is on this different journey, she's trying to say, okay, well, I did this quality control technician, but I don't think I want to be in manufacturing anymore. A lot of these jobs are going away. A lot of these jobs are actually moving to different countries. Now that we have AI, they're having robots replace a lot of this. So I don't even know when I'm going to get a new job. What type of job should it be? So Becky reached out to us, Breaking the Glass LLC. And what we did is instead of just saying, oh, Becky, you were a quality control technician. Okay, let's go ahead and look for those jobs. We took a step back and we said, all right, who is really Becky? What fulfills you? What type of organization are you going to thrive in? One of the things that we also do with our clients is really understand your personality type. So, we give a Myers-Briggs personality assessment to our clients to really understand holistically what type of personality traits are the strongest, and what type of environment allows those to thrive. we also take a step back and say, let's investigate different jobs. We'll do the work. And we ask our clients to look at least 5 different types of roles that they're interested in pursuing. And what we'll do is we will tell you what these roles do, what are the requirements, what are the salary range for these roles, and then actually share with you 3 open job recs for each one of those roles. And that dramatically changes the story to what type of job am I looking for? What's going to be fulfilling to me? To, oh, these are some jobs that I think are interesting. And these sound like this is going to be really beneficial to me. And it's going to help me thrive. It's going to be financially stable for me. And it's going to be in an environment that allows me to grow. And so we like to help our clients in that job search and not just say, okay, upload your resume to Jobs AI and have them post you to 50, 100 jobs that you might not like or might not be interested in. We really look at you as a holistic person and say, what's going to be beneficial to you? And that's our starting. So, any questions about Becky or the new job search process?
No question. Oh, no questions.
Actually, I have a question, Kimberly. From your experience, how important it is for you to say a person actually know themselves, understand themselves in order before they actually go and search the job? How critical do you think this step is?
That is one of the most critical aspects of the job search. And thank you for asking that question because a lot of times we're just like, well, it's just a job. And I just go to work and then I come home. Well, this job, especially if it's a full-time role, is usually 40 plus hours. That takes a significant amount of your time and your life. And so if that's something that's not fulfilling to you, it's going to have a negative impact to you. And you owe it to yourself, and you deserve to be in a position and a place that brings you not just financial freedom, but also inspires you and motivates you. And it's something that you can be passionate about.
So you can actually find a job that you love. It's not a myth.
Yes.
It's possible.
It is possible, but you have to look and you have to take the time to do the research and really figure out, okay, what's going to be my perfect job? And it's not textbook and it's not the same job for everyone. And so making that personal investment is really important so you can have that job that is very fulfilling and that's something you're passionate about.
That's so good. I wish I know you sooner, you know? So I think it's important because everything needs a coach, right? If you are athlete, right? You need a coach. Without a coach, no matter how talented you are, you're not gonna go anywhere. So I think same thing, right? If you're gonna find something that you have passion, spend that much time to do it, having a coach, having somebody with experience to guide you is crucial.
Absolutely. Okay, let's move on to the next story.
Okay, now it's my turn again, right? Let's talk about Lisa, right? We talk about saving money. We talk about we might have some hiccups, right, along the way in our career. And then when everything's back to normal, but sometimes having debt, having credit card debt, having student loan, right, having something on our back could be a huge obstacle for us to see the future, to start, fresh. So, for example, like Lisa is 50 years old, right? She's a powerhouse, decades of hard work. She earned top position in her company. Actually, Lisa's story is very similar to like my sister's story, right? She worked hard for her whole life. However, big position, big responsibility also comes with a lot of stress, right? And to cope, a lot of times we turn into retail therapy, right? Back then, you actually have to drive to go to the mall, right? It takes effort for the therapy. But now you don't even need effort. You just have to go online. You can lay on the bed. You can do it at any time. You can start that therapy. So because of that, just a few clicks, right? To develop this habit, before Lisa knows, she's drowning in credit card debt. And credit card debt sometimes, have you ever experienced it? You feel like you only spend a few $1,000s, but for some reason, the credit card balance always seems bigger. than you think you actually spend, right? With the interest and everything. So that's when Lisa find out that, oh my God, it started to caught up with me. And I feel like I'm stuck. What am I going to do? Do you know, as of today, November 2025, credit card debt in the United States is over $1.23 trillion of credit card debt. I would say pretty much everybody will have some type of credit card debt, right? And it is being record high. Why? I was just talking, to Kimberly and Teresa before we started. Everything is so expensive now. If your salary sometimes haven't really caught up, or you have to spend more than you make, or maybe you don't have enough saving, now your only way is you turn into credit card, right? So this is when I sit down with Lisa, and when Lisa reach out. So together, we actually go on two different routes. One route is, let's try to eliminate those credit cards on our own. Because one thing Lisa told me is, hey, I feel like no matter how much I try to pay it off, the balance never go down, right? Is it because I'm not paying off enough, or what is going on? So we sit down and we look at every single credit card that she has. What is the interest rate for each one, right? What is the balance for each credit card, right? What are they for? Does she need to continue to put more balance on the credit card? So we then put a plan. For Lisa's case, she was able to manage it on her own with a plan together, right? There's a lot of different methods. It's not that which one is the best, it's which one feels most suitable to your situation, and which one is most achievable to you, right? So we put a plan together, and Lisa started to work towards that plan. And sometimes, some of the credit card balance might be a little bit bigger, but a little bit much more overwhelmed than we can handle on our own. That is when I will bring outside people to come and help. So we can maybe reduce some of the balance, right? Negotiate, and then put another plan together. But bottom line, it is something that we have to look into. We have to talk to somebody. We have to find a way to get rid of it. Because until we can control the debt, it's hard for us to start doing anything else. Saving, doing this, doing that is very difficult. So today, good news is Lisa is debt-free and thriving, right? So her story proves that it's never too late to rewrite your financial future. You guys are very quiet today, huh? Nobody asked any question. Maybe we did such a good job, Kimberly. That's why no question.
Good explanations.
Yeah, well, that is such a wonderful story, especially in today's environment where sometimes a lot of people are like, hey, I just graduated college, but now I have $40,000 of debt. I'm never going to get ahead. I'm never going to be able to buy a house, or anything. And so it becomes something that they feel bogged down with. But to your point, if we have a plan in place and we implement that plan, then they can be debt free. Then things like home ownership or car ownership or things like that don't become something that is unattainable and unachievable. So that is awesome. And I'm glad Lisa has reached out to you and others have reached out to you to say, okay, you know what? I don't have to stay in debt. I do have options. And as long as I open to hearing what those options are, then I can be debt free. All right, that's a wonderful story, exciting. So now let's go to the next story. Julie. So Julie is 37 years old and she is currently a claims adjuster for an insurance company. She's been at this company for 7 years. So she's been at this company for 7 years in this role. She hasn't gotten a college degree, but she's taken several courses. And Julie's going to get some coffee one day, and one of her teammates says, hey, there's a new job opening for a claim supervisor. And Julie, I think you should go for it. And Julie stops and she's like, yeah, that would be great. I would love to be a claims supervisor, but I can't do it. I'm not qualified for this role. So sometimes we can put limits on ourselves and we can stop ourselves from achieving goals that we want by just simply saying, no, I can't do it. And there's no reason why Julie can't get this job, especially with her skills and experience. And so one of the things that she did was reached out to us. And so when we met with Julie, one of the things that we talked about is let's talk about Julie. What positive impact have you made on this organization since she's been there? And when we started to look at all of the things that she's done, and then we looked at what the claim supervisor role was, Julie recognized I am qualified for this role. I do have the skills and experience needed for this role. Just because I don't have a college degree doesn't mean that I can't do this. And so when Julie removed herself from blocking that promotion, she allowed herself to grow and she allowed herself to flourish. But she needed to take a step back and have someone give her a different perspective and have someone give her the tools and the steps. So, one of the things that we do is we also teach our clients how to practice for interviews. So, making sure that we're asking questions and we write down what their responses are to the questions, and then we coach them on, hey, based on your experience, this is a response that you should give, or here's some examples that you should provide. We also teach our clients how to promote their own skills. So we teach them how to um, utilize tools like LinkedIn and other social media avenues to really promote the work that they've done and give themselves credit for the work that they've done. So instead of just saying, my work will speak for itself, which is a very dangerous thing to think. It's actually let me promote the work that I've done. And we also make sure that your resume really reflects the positive impact that you've done. So, based on those things, we were able to help Julie stop herself from saying, oh, I'm not qualified for this role. I'm not going to be able to get this position, to actually achieving the promotion and also saying, what's next for me? I don't have to stay in this supervisor role for 7 years. I can actually continue to climb the corporate ladder. So we, like Julie, can help you accomplish your goals and achieve things like job promotions by looking at things from a different perspective and giving you the skills and the tools needed to present yourself in that new role, in that new light. So any questions about that?
I don't see any questions posted.
Okay. Well, question for the group. Have you ever been at a position at a company and saw a promotion posted and stopped yourself from applying to that job? Yes. Okay. And so why did you stop yourself from applying for that job?
For me, I just feel like it's scary because you're out of your comfort zone, right? You've been doing something you're so comfortable for maybe this last like decade, right? Suddenly you have to step out of your comfort zone to show people, your worth, right? And sometimes people see that, but we don't see it for ourselves. Everybody probably, majority of the time, if you trying to fight for the promotion, maybe your coworker, maybe even your boss tell you that, oh, you're so ready for this position, but you're the only one who didn't see that, right? You're the one who talked yourself out of it, right? So I think that is the biggest challenge. Is like, how do you overcome that? How do you gain that confidence? How do you believe in yourself?
Absolutely. How do you see yourself in that role? And that's the first step in actually accomplishing that goal. You have to see yourself as, in this case, the claim supervisor and saying, I'm going to be successful in that role. I can do it. And here's what I would do in this situation. Here's what I would do in this scenario. And so you are the first key to accomplishing that goal is believing in yourself and believing that you can get to that next level.
Yeah, and it's also
So
important to have somebody like you to believe in them, to show them, prove them that, hey, see, not just because I know you and I believe you, but it's on paper. You have all of these. Yeah, I think that's very important.
yes. Yeah, sometimes we underestimate and undervalue the skills and experience that we bring to a role. And it's really important to say, okay, how would this role operate without you? What would happen if you were no longer there? And when people start thinking about it from that perspective, they're like, oh, well, this wouldn't happen, or this, or, I'm the subject matter expert for this and that. Well, imagine if you could take all of your expertise and skills to that next level. What a positive impact that you can make even more. So it's really important for people to take a step back and not think of it as saying, oh, I'm arrogant, but hey, I do provide value. I am a positive impact to this organization, and I can continue to be in the future.
Yeah, and Kimberly, would you also agree that sometimes, especially in female, we are afraid to show people, we're afraid to step up. We feel like, oh, that's not appropriate, right? Or people might think I'm arrogant.
Yes, unfortunately, a lot of women were taught, even when we were little girls, that our work will show for ourselves, and if we brag, quote unquote, brag about this, we're conceited, and no one is going to like us. And so we've been taught just to, oh, I'll do the work, but I'm not going to say anything. Or, I hope that they recognize me for what I've accomplished versus being comfortable saying, hey, this is what I've done. This is what I was able to provide to you, and asking feedback from it and actually accepting feedback and accepting recognition for the job that we've done.
That's
But
so
great
true.
questions and comments. Any other questions or comments?
Don't be
Okay.
shy.
Raise your hand if you'd rather raise your hand, we can always unmute you.
Yeah, or maybe we'd love to hear your story if you have some inspiring
Yeah.
story to share. Awesome.
Okay. All right. Well, let's go to the next story.
Before I share the next story, I actually thought of something, right? Sometimes also think about if you have enough saving, if you have, emergency fund, sometimes you have more power and you have more freedom to take risk because you don't have to worry about, hey, if I depart from this toxic position or sometimes toxic environment, right, Kimberly? Sometimes you're so valuable, but sometimes maybe your current job, your current position, your current industry don't see that, don't support that. You want to, that you can do better, right? But because you do not have enough saving, you have a lot of debt, right? You don't know what to do and you don't have a plan. Sometimes you also don't have that freedom to take that risk, right? You don't have that freedom. Say, hey, you know what? I'm just going to depart from this toxic environment. And then I'm going to take a month off to work with Kimberly, to work with Rachel, and then go find myself, find my true calling. So if you have a plan, you know that everything's going to be okay. It will also give you that power, right? To truly, truly do something you like and be yourself and fulfill, our purpose. So Jason's story, right? Everybody wants their money to grow, right? Nobody wants to put their money, dig a hole, right, in the backyard and say that is safe, especially with the economy was going the past 10, 15 years, right? We all was conditioned and taught that, hey, you need to invest your money, right? So everybody is also focused on that. But sometimes investing, gaining, making money is important. But don't forget that sometimes how much you keep in your pocket is more important than how much you gain, right? Does anybody know that, for example, the money that you save in your retirement account is not 100% yours. You have to share with Uncle Sam, right? That is a co-account with Uncle Sam, right? So a lot of times, a lot of my clients come to me, they will ask, how do I have a peace of mind? How do I know that no matter what happened, I'm going to be okay? No matter what happened, my family is going to be okay, right? So with Jason's story, Jason is 35 years old. He's doing well. He's starting his family, right? With a steady job and no major debt, right? And also growing curious about how should he build wealth, right? Especially if you have kids, maybe you also want to know, how am I going to be able to also leave something behind, right? So Jason is not really chasing about luxury, right? He's not chasing about fancy, but he wants that peace of mind, right? To retire with confidence. How many of us want to retire with confidence? How many of us can say that I will never outlive my money, right? What if my money died before me? What am I going to do? Right? I sometimes make fun, those older gentlemen or lady that check receipt. Do you think they're really people person that they want to go out? No, a lot of times because they need supplemental income, right? Social Security is not enough. Everything's so expensive. And they see that their retirement is going down fast because when you have no income, you only spend it, right? So Jason wants to have that peace of mind. He wants to have confident retirement and knowing that he doesn't have to worry about running out of money. So when Jason come to me, we sit down and we share with him, number one, how he can grow his money, of course. But in the same time, what are some of the stop signs, some of the obstacles that he needs to be aware of? So not so much about just how much money to make, but also how much he can keep, right? It happens to be November is Long-Term Care Awareness Month. Does anybody know about long-term care, right? Do you know that 70% of people over age 65 will sometime need long-term care? In California, it could get up to $15,000 per month right now, should you need somebody. And it's about $40 to $50 per hour if you want somebody to come to your house to help you, right? I always say that if you have kids, it's very cute when we change our kids' diaper, but it's not so cute when our kids has to change our diaper, right? If we do need help, who is going to help you? Do you have a plan? Are you going to have enough money? If not, where's the money going to come from? What are we going to do? What about tax? Sometimes recently, I actually have some clients, they're in their early 60s. They have millions of dollars in their retirement account, but they started to worry with that amount of money in their retirement account. They also comes with a huge tax responsibility. So the question is, how can I share less with Uncle Sam? How can I keep more, right? And how am I going to make sure if I'm not there, my spouse going to be okay, right? So when Jason, same thing, come, the good thing is Jason is a little bit younger, right? So there's a lot of options for Jason, and we started to put a plan together. And it not just focus on how do you participate in the good market, but do you have anything to help you when the winter comes? How do you protect your money from market risk? How do you protect your money from leaking away without you having any control, right? So after we put a plan together, so now Jason not only work hard, but he also works smart, right? So he feel like, his future is going to be secure because he has a plan together. And the good thing is when you work with, just like when you work with Kimberly, when you work with me, it's not a one-time thing, right? It's an ongoing thing. Today you're 35. This is what you worry about. This is your priority. But when you're 45, you're going to have different priority. Life is going to be different. When you're 55, it's going to be another stage of life. So we work with you, we educate you, we help you put a plan together, not only for today, but also for 30, 40, 50 years down the road. Does anybody have any story to share?
I think you hit it on the head when you said um, your 401k is shared with Uncle Sam and taxes. Because a lot of times when you ask people, oh, how much do you have to retire? They just give you the amount that's in the account and they're not factoring in the tax aspect. And you are absolutely right. When you're just pulling from the account and no longer putting money in, it goes very quickly. And when situations change and you have to take more money than you expected, the situation becomes very different. So I think reaching out to Rachel and really looking at options and saying, okay, what are the types of investments? Because it doesn't have to just be one that are going to be beneficial for me, that are going to allow me to not be worried about when I retire, if I can retire ever. I just read an article where a lot of people who are 65 say there's no way that they can retire now, and that they're saying the average age of retirement is 68 to 69. And that's scary because imagine if Jason was 35 and thought, okay, I only have 30 more years to work. And then he gets there and he's like, oh, I don't. I have to keep on working. And unfortunately, I'm going to have to keep on working till I'm physically unable to because financially I can't afford to stop. But that doesn't have to be your story. And so reaching out to Rachel and putting those plans in place right now will help you say, I'm retired, come to my retirement party. And guess what? I'm going to enjoy my retirement and I'm not going to be worried about working. And I have different sources of income coming in. So, we've all heard that by the time we retire, there will be no more Social Security. So if you are only counting on Social Security for your retirement and that is no longer a valid option, what are you going to do? So having plans in place and thinking about all of these different things helps you be prepared for it. So you can say, yeah, come to my retirement party. I'm okay without Social Security. I have multiple things coming in. And yes, I understand I'm getting older and my situation's changing, but I'm ready for it and I'm prepared for it.
Yeah, and Kimberly, as somebody told me joking around, say that, right? Right now, weekend is only 2 days. When you're retired, every day is weekend. What are you going to do? Do you want to just sit at home and worry about, oh, sorry, we cannot really do this, we cannot do that, right? Because market is not good, or we are afraid that we are running out of money because we are 85, but we are like 65 because we're so healthy. What am I going to do?
Yeah. And you want to be able to have those options and be able to say, I want to go travel, or I want to go do
Yes.
this, or I want to do that. I'm going to enroll in art class. I'm going to start painting, or I'm going to do that.
Yes.
And giving yourself some options, some freedom because you've worked so hard for this point in your life, not
Yes.
to have to do that stuff and not have to worry about money like you did before.
Yes, really able to join that country club that you said you want to join since you are 40.
Yes, yes, absolutely. So reaching out to Rachel and starting to prepare yourself and giving yourself options for the future is a great thing to do, regardless of how old you are. Starting now allows you to have options to be prepared so you can enjoy retirement and not have to worry retirement. All right, so let's move on to our last story. So, Mark. Last year, Mark graduated from a four-year college with a business administration degree. He's 24 years old. He was able to secure with his internships that he had and his degree, a manager position at a technology company. So Mark has been in this role for the last 8 months, but he's struggling. Now, a lot of times I have clients who are in new leadership roles who say, I took leadership classes, I took management classes, or even I've gotten my MBA, but no one ever told me about this. No one ever told me about emotional intelligence and why that's important, and why it's important to have this type of etiquette in meetings, and being able to speak to different people in different roles. No one ever did that to me. And so, like Mark, he hasn't been able to establish relationships with other leaders or his team members. He's also very reluctant to speak to the executive team. So Mark has reached out to Breaking the Glass to help him really define his leadership skills. And similar to other stories, first, Mark, you got to see yourself as a leader, and you have to see yourself as qualified, and you have to see yourself first and foremost as part of the team and helping the teams be successful. And so there are different leadership styles. What is your leadership style? And what are you bringing to the table? And how are you enabling your teammates and enabling your peers to accomplish their goals so you all can be successful together? And so, really teaching different communication skills, different ways to interact with people, different skills to utilize in meetings, or one of the things that you might hear is, what's your elevator pitch? So imagine that you hop on an elevator and you're at a conference, and the CEO of a Fortune 500 company gets in there. Now, some people will be like, oh my gosh, I couldn't say anything. No, there's no way. Versus, hey, here's how to utilize that time successfully. And here's how to promote yourself, promote your company, promote your team. So you can make sure that all of these interactions are as beneficial as possible. And so these are the skills and things that we teach that aren't taught in class, that aren't taught when you get your degree, for our clients to be successful leaders and to really understand what it means to me to be a leader, and what my leadership brings to the organization, and what my leadership brings to my team. And so it's very important to kind of start and saying, okay, where do you want to go? What do you want to do? What type of impact do you want to have? And let's put those things in place so you can be successful. So, any questions or comments about that? Well, I have a question for everyone. Have any of you had an interaction with the CEO of a company and said something and went up to them and spoke with them? Have any of you guys done that? You want to share? Well, I will share my own story. I used to work for Nationwide. It's a Fortune 500 company, and there are 60,000 employees. And we had our CEO actually come to our branch office to give a presentation. And then after the presentation, um, he was standing and speaking to people. And so I looked at my team members and I said, okay, let's go speak to him. And they're like, you can't do that. You can't go talk to him. He's an executive, he's a CEO. There's no way you can actually go speak to him. And I said, yes, there is. Watch. And I went, I introduced myself, I introduced my team members, and I said, we are very excited about the goals that we have for this year. And my team and I are contributing to these goals. And we also have some ideas about some new things that we can also do. And he was very happy to hear that. And I was actually invited to a council at the corporate office to share new product and ideas just from that small meeting, and just for having the courage to go have that short conversation. Imagine if all of us had that courage and didn't let a title scare us or didn't let somebody's role scare us. Imagine how beneficial that would be. So, any other questions or comments? Okay. Well, if you're not comfortable speaking to us at this meeting, you can contact us. So here is information about how to contact us in the future. So if you have any um, needs for your career, for your job search, for promotions, for mentorship, we even do corporate training and consulting, please contact Breaking the Glass. If you need help with investments and savings and debt reduction and really understanding what is my financial plan? What am I going to do? How am I going to do this? Please contact Rachel. Her contact information is over here as well, and we can help you. And it's not a textbook, oh, okay, well, you're this age and you have this much saved, so do these things. We personalize the plan for you because everyone has different things in their life that they're going through, different things that they have to consider and factor into their plan. And so we can help you do that if you contact us. And when you contact us, we're not going to charge you. We all each have free consultations. So we can, one, hear your story and understand where you want to go and share with you how we can help you with your story. So if you visit Breaking the Glass, there's a page where you can schedule a free consultation based on your schedule. And then if you click on this for World Financial Group, you'll also be able to schedule a free consultation. So we want to be able to not just say, oh, here's some great stories. Good luck. We got nothing for you, but hey, here's some stories. What is your story and how can we help you be successful in it?
So true. This is something that you cannot ask ChatGPT because it's very customized. And we'd love to hear your story. And don't worry, just have a conversation because sometimes we don't know what we don't know, right? And if you find out that, you have everything in place, then that's good. You have a peace of mind and I have a peace of mind.
So any other questions or comments? Well, thank you so much for attending. What we will do is we will share this information, this presentation with you. So if you need to go review it in the future and you have some questions or comments or you want to share it with others, you'll be able to. Okay.
Well, thank you both, Rachel and Kimberly. Once again, thanks everybody for joining us today. And as we look ahead to 2026, let's move forward with intention, not waiting for opportunity to appear, but creating it. And let's also lead with vision, serve with heart, and design a life of business that reflects our highest values and goals. If today's message inspired you, and if you're ready to gain deeper clarity in your career, your finances, or your personal direction, we invite you to schedule a complimentary one-on-one session with either Kimberly or Rachel or both. You may have need for both. This is your opportunity to receive personalized guidance, map your goal for 2026, and start turning today's, inspiration into a real actionable plan. So on behalf of our entire team, we thank you for joining us today. And thank you again, Kimberly and Rachel, for sharing your expertise and your heart with all of us.
Thank you. It's been a wonderful opportunity. I look forward to speaking with you guys and helping you guys in the future.
Yeah, have a wonderful weekend, everybody.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.